Sub Inside Edge. Here we go. Comic-Con 2015. We got Mike, the creator of Headlocked. Mike, let's talk about it.
Alright, man. Yeah, just Undertaker fighting demons, or, you know, there's one that came out that's got a Paul Bearer rape scene in it. Awful stuff. You know, it just never appealed to me as a wrestling fan. They were never about wrestling. So I decided to write a wrestling comic book, you know, as a lifelong fan, with somebody with passion for the business. Like, I wrote a comic book about wrestling. Headlocked about a kid who's a theater major, and he falls in love with the art of wrestling. And he quits school, and it's his journey through the wrestling business. Like, starting on day zero, like trying to get into wrestling school, trying to learn how to bump. You know, we weave it into an entertaining story, so it's not just 10 issues of him doing drills, you know?
So you actually went through the underbelly of what it actually takes and what people don't see. And
sure, and you know, like, if you're a wrestling fan, you have to defend it to at least 50% of the people that you know.
Ridiculous.
So my idea is, when this is all said and done, this will be sort of my defense of my fandom of wrestling, and wrestling, the craft of wrestling is an art form, you know, and hopefully people will be entertained along the way. So we've been fortunate enough to have a lot of wrestlers that like comics contribute.
Who's all in it?
Jerry the King Lawler paints the covers to the books. You know, we've had Rob Van Dam did a short story for it, Hurricane did a short story, Christopher Daniels, AJ Styles, Kazarian, John Morrison, Booker T's doing art for the book, Tony Atlas, Mr. Kennedy did a piece of art, Sam Shaw did art. So it's you know, it's all about, it's a passion project for me. I love wrestling, I love comics. All the wrestlers that love comics and all the wrestling, the artists that love wrestling, they're the only people that contribute. You know, like, I have people ask me, hey, can I be in your book? I'm like, I don't know, can you name 12 Avengers that aren't in a movie? You know, I just want people who love what we're doing and to be a part of it. Like, we're not trying to put anybody over, you know? It's a passion project. It's something that I love to do.
So the independent guys, because that's what we love on the Inside Edge, is the independent guys. Who do you have in there? I see Bullet Club, obviously. You got Young Bucks.
We actually talked this weekend about doing a future story together, so you know, I'm happy with that. You know, I know he's not super indie anymore, but Samoa Joe is a big supporter of the book. You know, I go around everywhere. I go to shows. Like, I can find value in two guys in a high school gym, like, you know, in their first match. Like, there's something for everybody if you really love, you know, wrestling per se. You know, I'm not a giant fan of 4-minute TV matches, but you know what I mean, when it's just two guys going out there doing their thing and talking to the crowd. Like, I think as an art form, wrestling is like jazz. Like, when you listen to jazz live, it's amazing. When you listen to it recorded, it's elevator music. You know what I mean? Like, you've got to hear jazz live. Wrestling is so much better live. It's immersive. You're right up there and you hear the smack and you see the sweat fly. And, like, the guys are, you know, you see that pain. Like, I think that's what makes, you know, the heart of it, what wrestling really is.
The passion. Now, you said off camera, you said that you're from New York.
Yes.
So East Coast, West Coast. I love my indie guys. Who's big over in the East Coast? Indie guys.
All right. Well, you know, one of my favorite promotions is called 2CW, and it's in upstate New York. And there's a bunch of guys, like, they kind of started when I started doing my book, and we've all kind of come up together. Like, they're, you know, they had Steen working for them for a while, and some other guys. But it's like the local guys are like starting to hit it big now. Like, so there's a guy named Brew Van Slyke and Jay Freddy. They just went to Japan and they're training into Japan now. You know, and Dick Justice, who's you know, starting to break out a little bit. You know, and I'm watching all these guys grow, you know, along at the same time that we're growing as a company, man. It's been super, super fulfilling. I mean, I like Vic Busick, JT Dunn. Like, I love the guys at Beyond Wrestling, what they're doing. Out here on this side, I'm a big fan of Hood Slam. Those guys are amazing, and they're actually Hood
Slam. Have you ever went to a Hood Slam?
I'm actually next month I'm going. It'll be my first show. But I'm a big fan of all those guys because they're doing what I'm doing. Like, they're doing something out of the box that people probably told them they shouldn't even do. And, you know, I mean, I can't even tell you how many people told me not to do a wrestling comic because nobody would support it.
Why?
You know what I mean? But I'm doing what I want to do. They're doing what they want to do in their own way, and people are finding that because you can't script passion. You know what I mean? So, like, those are you know, I like PWG. I'm trying to think. I mean, there's so much good wrestling now. I mean, I love Lucha Underground.
I was gonna say we love Lucha Underground. What about NXT?
I like a lot of the guys in NXT. I like the products. it's kind of a Trojan horse, though. I worry that it's going to hurt the indies. You know what I mean? Like they're taking all the guys. I feel like it's the territories again.
We got.
I mean, I love Kev, and you know, Sammy was hanging out here all weekend. Like, I love the guys. I love Joe. Yeah, I mean, they're all great dudes. I love them, and I'm happy that they're having success. And like I said, I love the product. I just wish, as an independent, I wish that people had supported those guys, you know, when they were in Ring of Honor or when they were in, you know, PWG or whatever, because I think that that's ultimately, the more voices you have in wrestling, the better for creativity overall. You know what I mean? We're in a spot right now where it's great, where a couple of people have got voices with Lucha Underground and TNA and Ring of Honor, and you know, PWG's got their own little niche, and there's voices coming up, and I like that. You know what I mean? I wonder, like, you know what I mean? Like, NXT was Ring of Honor 2005 to 2007. So if people had supported it back then, you could have had NXT plus Joe, plus AJ, plus Punk, plus Dragon, all in their other physical primes. You know what I mean?
That'd be insane.
That's why you need to support your independents, man, because they're the voices. You know what I mean? That you want these guys to perform how they want and to do what they want. You know, the things that they're passionate about, instead of doing what the suits tell them to do, or what the TV executives tell them to do. You know what I mean? Because when somebody's doing what they love, like, you can feel that, and it makes everything better.
And that's what I love about, like, the Young Bucks, just per se. Every single time I've interviewed them, they say, hey, we work for ourselves, but we do what we do, and we love it.
Right. And we talked about that when they were in my booth here the other day, but, like, I've had people tell me, like, well, you know, maybe you should add, like, a supernatural element to your comic, or do whatever, change your artist, or whatever. And I tell people, I'm like, look, brother, this is the book. You know what I mean? This is the book I want to write. You know, maybe I could sell 100 more, you know, 1,000 more books if I did it a different way. But that's not the book I want to write. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to do what I want to do, and I think that, you know, over the years we built this up, man. You know, we raised $50,000 across 2 Kickstarters. You know what I mean? In the comic book industry, they're like, oh, you know, we'll buy a wrestling comic, nobody will support it. And I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? They are supporting it, you know, and I think that's the deal. We're gonna keep bumping the ceiling, and eventually that motherfucker's gonna break.
Hey, it's going to, guys. So, Mike, where can they find it? They're not here at Comic-Con. Where can they get the book?
Everything on our social media is Headlocked Comic. It's our website. You can buy books there. Our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram. Check out the newer one too. This is our newest artist is Mikel Molapola, a wrestler from he's a wrestler from New Zealand. So he does all the art in this book. So all the art in this book is done by wrestlers, which I think is fantastic.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's a book about the art of wrestling, and it's all drawn by wrestlers. So, but yeah, everything's Headlocked Comic, man. You can find me if you reach out to any of those accounts. It's not run by anybody but me. So if I'm on the other side of that Twitter. So if I call you a dick on Twitter, that's me.
That's Mike. Mike's calling you a dick, and that's just how he feels.
Right.
So, final question. I just want to know the major companies, obviously TNA, Ring of Honor, and WWE. What do you think of the product?
TV wrestling, I mean, it's actually been a lot better this year. I mean, the US Challenge has been great. You know, I mean, I love Ring of Honor. I mean, TNA's actually stepped up the product a lot. I mean, I know the name carries some baggage, but their in-ring product. I mean, I love Rockstar Spud. You know, EC3 is great. Ken Anderson is my boy. You know, Eric Young is a good friend of mine. I love watching him work. So, you know what I mean? Like, those are I think everything is good right now. Everything is good. You know, when the guys get the time to tell the stories. There's definitely been a lot more focus on wrestling.
Oh yeah. I should have said it, but what about Global Force coming up?
Any place that gives the boys a chance to work.
Exactly.
Any place that's another voice doing something different. You know what I mean? We don't need 10 guys trying to do what WWE is doing. You know, we don't need 10 authority figures. We don't need any of that. We need different voices. We need different stuff, because you can tell stories 100 ways. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be the WWE way. Just like in comics, man. You can tell 100 stories in comics. You don't have to all be superheroes. You know what I mean? Like, I'm telling a dramatic story about wrestling. It doesn't have, you know, there's tights, but they ain't flying. You you know, maybe over the top rope. But you know, that's the thing. Like, you can tell any kind of stories in a storytelling medium. You know, why would you just do it one way?
I mean, if you really look at it, and what's really cool about the big boys is you have all these indie guys now holding belts, which is awesome.
No, and I love it. I've watched these guys come up. You know what I mean? I got into the indies about 2004, a little bit like late 2003. So like Punk, Dragon, Joe, like Claudio, Cesaro. You know, watching these guys all come up, and now you know Steen and Devin, and whatever. Like, it's awesome to see these guys hit success because you're part of their struggle. You know what I mean? I was there at the beginning, watching these guys, you know, in front of smaller crowds, but you know, still popping them, and you know, just doing their thing and killing themselves. You notice, and now they're reaping the benefits of their hard work. You know, I see all these guys. Like, I see it in comics, I see it in wrestling. Guys that they think they're owed something, or they think that they deserve something, and they're not willing to put in the work. They're not putting in the miles. You know, when I do my shows, like, I have a full-time job. I leave my show, or I leave my job on Friday. I drive right to a show, I set up, and then I do the show for 3 days. I leave on Sunday, I drive right back to my job. There's a ton of weekends I don't see my house. You know what I mean? But it's all for the greater good. I mean, I want to keep my electric bill paid, you know, so I work, but at the same time, you know what I mean? I do what I love in my spare time.
Exactly, and that's what the Inside Edge is. The Inside Edge, we just go, we do that. It's just us, and we do our thing. We all have 9 to 5s, but this is our passion, and it's what we do. So Mike, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Guys, you can find his comic anywhere on it. Headlock, find it. Inside Edge.